everybody. Welcome to Cloudy Age episode 41. Okay, the art of asking questions 2. Right, so first up, what is Cloudy Age? So Cloudy Age is a weekly sharing, okay, of business development and various growth strategies. The objective is to help you achieve clarity through simplicity and ultimately helping everyone achieve profitability. So today, the art of asking questions too. What will we be talking about? All right, we're going to talk about, fundamentally, why we should be asking questions. Okay, the curious mindset. Okay, we're talking one of the things that I use, which is the airport question on why is it important to ask good questions. And there will be fundamentally two different types of questions, two directions that you can take in any conversation, why it's important to pick one over the other during various different situations and circumstances. And of course, my favorite, the pro tip section. All right, let's just dive in. The curious mindset. Now, basically, you have to understand that the entire human experience is very messy. People basically are generally in a generally people are in a various state of confusion in their life in the various aspects. If they're not confused in this aspect, they're confused in the other aspect. Okay, so understand that we need to have stories in our lives to help us make sense of what's going through our life. Okay, we need stories. Now, questions guide the focus of a person to explore possibilities outside of their current existing narrative and story. Okay? So if they have for example, they all believe that they should be poor because their father is poor. Then we must ask this question to the person. Did all rich people come from rich parents? Of course the answer is no. Then you realize that your father's role has nothing to do with whether or not you will be rich and successful in your life. So that's understanding how questions guide the focus of a person. So questions are incredibly powerful if asked in the right way, asked in the right direction, with a well-designed intention. So fundamentally, you need to be very curious about other people when you are engaging and talking to them. You don't take nothing for granted. Believe no assumption. Leverage on questions to take the conversation forward. Avoid making statements when you're talking to people, but use questions instead. I put a capital Q there because questions as a whole concept. Leverage on questions to take the conversation forward. For example, instead of at a networking session, instead of just, hey, hi, my name is Vernon, what's your name? What do you do? I do this, what do you do? And just leave it there. Ask them questions like, what inspired you to start this business? What was the challenge you faced when you started your first business? How did you eventually choose this evening and this event as your networking event of choice? So ask questions to move the conversation forward. Don't just ask questions about facts or about reality. Ask questions about opinion, preferences, values, orientation. These questions actually position you as a very insightful person and makes people want to spend more time with you and invest more time with you. So be curious about other people. Always assume that other people are more interesting than you. You just need to ask them the right question and you will learn something new and you will grow. So the first step when it comes to asking good questions actually has nothing to do with asking good questions. It's got to do with being curious as a person. Be curious. Understand that nobody interested in you, but always be interested in other people. Alright, be curious and avoid assumptions. Never believe assumptions. Okay? Always assume. Always question the assumptions if necessary. Now I'm going to talk about the airport question. You will exactly get what I'm trying to talk about. Now imagine one of my friends or one of your friends come to you and ask you the question, what is the best way to get to the airport? Now imagine I was in the middle of a consultation with a client and my client asked me this question, what's the best way to get to the airport? Now, if your immediate answer to him or her is take a cab, guess what? You'll be fired on the spot. Okay? Because you have demonstrated that your thought process is extremely poor, you make a lot of assumptions. Then you might be thinking, oh, we're just going to the airport, right? What assumptions can there possibly be? He's definitely going to the airport to take a flight and fly to another country, right? Well, not necessarily. First question you can respond is, oh, why are you going to the airport? I'm going there to buy some gifts. Oh, I'm going there to watch a movie at Jewel. They're not necessarily taking a flight. Second question you can ask them before you tell them the best way to get to the airport. Are you going there alone or with someone? Oh, I'm going there with my family and my grandparents. One of them is in a wheelchair. Oh, I see. Alright. Why do you need to be at the airport? That means do you have to be the one that goes to the airport? Can you not go to the airport? For example, you ask the person, why are you going to the airport? Oh, to try Shake Shack. Oh, do you know there's a Shake Shack in Orchard Road? Oh, is it? I didn't know there's a Shake Shack in Orchard Road. I'll just go to Orchard Road then. So it's important not to make any assumptions, Even though they come to you with the question, what is the best way to get to the airport? But actually what they want to do is they want to eat Shake Shack. Right? You could just ask them a few good questions and then just recommend them to go to Orchard and eat Shake Shack. Or go to Suntec to eat Shake Shack. You don't have to go to the airport, right? Next question, how much budget have you prepared to get to the airport? Or I'm only prepared to spend $3 at most to get to the airport. That kind of cuts down all of our strategies and our options, right? Just take a train, that's all. Right? But this question can be, what time do you need to be by the airport? Is it urgent? Does it have to be you? It's just a lot of assumptions, behind the question, what's the best way to get airport? What's best? Best is cheap, is it cheap? Is it optimized? Best because it's fastest. Best because it's most comfortable. Best because you get to see your own vehicle. What is called best? Best because you and your family all get there at the same time. But best because your whole class get to reach there at the same time. And sometimes you need to take a school bus, right? If you have the whole class going. What if this is a teacher that wants to bring the whole class to go and visit Changi Jewel? I mean, there's so many assumptions just behind the question, what's the best way to get to the airport? So understand, ask good questions, okay guys? Don't assume. Remember, intelligence is not measured by one's answers, it's measured by one's questions. This is by Aristotle. It's not by Yoda, it's by Aristotle. So anyway, right, just understand, ask good questions, guys. There are fundamentally two kinds of questions that you can ask. The first kind of question you can ask are detail-oriented questions. What time do you be there? How much does this ticket cost? What's the minimum age to enter this place? What's the official social distancing measure today, and so on. These are detail-oriented questions. They're going downwards. Play more detail. The other kind are purpose-oriented questions. Why do I need to be there? Is buying tickets at the door the most cost-effective way of getting entry to the event? So you question upwards, alright? Sometimes you need to question upwards to open up more strategies and options. When you question downwards, you actually get more details that you can actually use in your strategies. So understand this. Okay, so for example, you ask a question like, what's the best way to get to the airport? Or I want to get to the airport by taxi. What's the best way to get taxi now? Okay, how much money you have? Do you have credit card? Do you have a mouse? Do you have Grab app? Do you have a phone? Do you have internet connection? Do you have data? All this kind of stuff. So this is detail of the question. Of course, why do you need to get to the airport? Right? Eat Shake Shack? Can you eat Shake Shack somewhere else, or do you have to be there? No, I can be at the airport because only the airport gives a limited edition cup that I get when I buy this drink. Okay, great. So understand the direction of the questions. Here are some pro tips, guys. First, remember to ask others about the assumptions. Never assume, or at least if you are interested in the conversation, don't assume. Go deep or go up. That means ask about purpose or ask about details. When you disagree with someone, assume that you will be wrong and start asking questions. Don't always think that if somebody says something ridiculous and crazy, right, the other person is crazy and ridiculous. Maybe they know something you do not know. Explore their assumptions first before concluding that they're wrong. So ask those detail-oriented questions or purpose-oriented questions to actually arrive at your own opinion. People might not want a better way if there is a lazier way. Generally, you got to understand, people don't want a better way of doing something. They might just want an easier way or a lazier way to do something. So before you mouth off and make statements about you should this, you should that, whatever, understand that sometimes you just don't want to do this before it that way. So this is a true story. In fact, it's fresh off the boat this afternoon. A videographer friend of mine was cooking up a storm in his house for a few of his banker friends. His dish was incredible, it was delicious, he busted his ass cooking the meal. After his banker friends enjoyed the meal, they said to him, Hey, you know what, bro? You should start a restaurant, hire 4 chefs, tell them what to do, and then cook out this incredible dish all the time. Now, my this particular videographer friend was like, he was a bit cheesed off because that's not about money. He don't want to become a chain restaurant owner. He just want to cook amazing food for his friends. He didn't. The banker friend did not ask him what does he want and why did he even attempt to produce the meal. As far as he's concerned, he put in the effort to cook the meal for himself. It's not even for his guests. He just wants to be able to cook out this amazing dish and or 4 course dinner or something for his friends. So understand this, okay? People don't want a better way according to you when they have a lazier way according to themselves. But always, it always helps to know the assumption of your target market. All right, don't just assume, right? Ask good questions, and then you will realize that you actually will have the tools and resources that you can use to leverage the thought process first and actually influence them in a more powerful way. Okay, with that, thank you. I'll see you guys next week.